Yeah.
Hey guys, so first of all, I just want to start off by saying that this video might be a trigger. So if you feel like you're not in a good headspace, please do not watch any further, because I am going to be talking about some stuff that is a little bit hard. Well, not a little bit, it's pretty hard for me to talk about. So if you're not in a good headspace, I wouldn't advise you to listen any further. So just go ahead and turn the video off. I have been trying to film this video for a while. Maybe not like a while, but I had an idea to film this video maybe like a week ago. But it was really hard, and each time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and film it, I couldn't. Like, I just felt like I could not go through with it without breaking down crying. Now, I probably will cry in this. I probably will cry. I'm gonna try not to. And again, sorry for saying a lot. It's just, this is a really personal topic for me, and it's a real thing. It's not, I mean, not saying that any of my other videos have been ever like scripted, well, written down and just fake. None of that stuff. All that stuff is real, but this is like super real, and it's just literally me speaking from my heart. So that's why if I say a lot, or if I'm looking down, or if you just see me fidgeting, then I'm sorry. Fidgeting is also something I do because of my anxiety. I have anxiety and I have depression, and it's pretty bad. And my anxiety makes me, my anxiety, I'm always have to be moving something, like it's my hands or my legs. Growing up in school, I didn't really know what it was, and obviously, you know, people would always say, hey, stop moving so much, stop doing that, why are you always moving, you know. And I didn't realize until I was older what it was. So this video is going to be about depression and suicide in the black families, black communities. Now, obviously, depression, mental illness in general, is something that is talked about, but you don't hear a lot of people in the black community really talk about it, especially in families. You don't really hear them talk about it until it's a little late. And it's something that really needs to be talked about. It really is. Like, you know, growing up, not just me, I'm not saying I'm a, you know, I'm a spokesperson for every black person out there, but I can say that a lot of black families are the same. That yes, growing up, you know, you have your older generation, the ones that's from the South, the, you know, that real stuck to family traditions. And then you have, you know, your parents who still have some of that old family tradition in them from their parents or their aunts or their uncles, and it passes down onto you. You're taught, if you're sad, get over it. You're taught that if you're sad, everybody gets sad, whatever, don't worry about it, don't think about it. It's, you know, you're not even taught, like, depression is not talked about in the families at all. Like, you don't really know that you even have depression until you're old enough to really look up the information yourself or talk to somebody else about it. Like, you're not, like, it's not talked about in your families at all. I can say for myself, I didn't even know that my mother had depression until I was 20. I'm going to share some personal things in here. So I had a miscarriage before I had my daughter. I was 21. My mother was still alive at this time, and when I had the miscarriage, I found out it is because I have it was something wrong with my blood. My blood and the baby's blood didn't match, which is why the baby died. And that was really hard to find out. So I mean, that's not the first time I really was going through depression, but it hit hard. It hit hard, and I didn't realize what it was. Like, I didn't know. I just know it hit super, super hard. And my mom, she came to me, she was telling me, she was just like, basically telling me that she felt bad that I was going through what I was going through. And it hurt me, because I'm like, I don't want to see my mom feeling bad for something that I'm going through. And she was telling me that she suffers from, you know, depression. And I'm like, I didn't know any of this. Like, never has it ever been talked about in our family. She has never told me. And that right there just really says that you don't know who has depression. And in black families, it's not talked about. Like, it's some sort of taboo. Like, you're not allowed to speak about it, that it's illegal or something. So I just know that for a lot of black people, we have depression just as much as anybody else. But if you are a parent who's watching this, if you are a child, well, not a child, but if you're like a young adult who's watching this and you're going through it, even if you're not going through it, in your family, just talk about it. Because 7 out of 10 chances are that there is somebody in your family who has it. And they may not talk about it, or may not even show any symptoms to you, because in the black community, it's shown as weak if you show any signs of it. I can't count the times that I will cry in the bathroom, in my room, full on crying, where it just feels like my heart is just escaping my chest, and it's just in so much pain. And I'll cry quietly so that nobody hears it. And I said, I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of not letting anybody in my family know, because yes, I don't like to be looked at as weak. There are people who do know that I suffer from depression. I did have a therapist at one time. Didn't necessarily work out. Didn't last long. Not saying that it's all her fault, just it didn't last long. I have 2 people in my life who know everything. But in my family, no, I don't feel like there's anybody I can personally talk to. Which is why when I'm literally going through a depression spell, I won't even say it's a spell, because it's not like I have like days and where I'm just like stuck in the room. Honestly, I don't know, it's at a point in my life where it feels like every day I'm trying not to cry. And my anxiety is bad. And it's like, it gets to the point now where it just feels like if I'm around too many people, it feels like my heart is like, my chest is getting tighter, and it's really hard to breathe. But anyway, back to the topic. Sorry guys, please bear with me. This was a really, really hard video to film. So as I was saying, that in like in the black families, it's nobody knows what you're going through until something devastating happens. And a lot of black families, especially the older generations of these families, it's like they don't want to hear it. Even if you're going through it and you feel like you want to talk to them and tell them, it's like they don't want to hear it, or they downplay it. Which, when you're going through depression and it's hard enough to really let anybody know what's going on with you, because part of you feels like you're embarrassed to tell anybody what's going on with you. Part of you feels that everybody will turn on you and start thinking you're crazy, and you'll lose the little bit of people that is in your life. And it's a lot. The anxiety really makes you feel all of those things. So when you do feel open enough to tell somebody, it's like the older generation, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They downplay it, like, what is depression? You're just sad. Get over it. I don't know what depression is. Like, a mental illness. I can say for myself, growing up, I heard a lot of, that's that white people stuff. Only white people go through things like that. Or you don't see black people having these issues. So hearing a lot of that stuff growing up, and it wasn't even just mainly towards depression. It was just anything that people in my family thought that black people didn't do, that only white people did. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm doing parentheses, but yeah, it's something that only white people did. And if a black person did it, oh, we're white, or we're trying to be white, or you're hanging around too many white people, so there's something wrong with you. So hearing all of that stuff growing up, for me, it made it hard to talk about it. It made it hard to tell anybody in my family what is going on. And even still to this day, I don't think anybody knows. I mean, if you pay attention, you probably can see things. And I'm pretty sure even to this day, even filming this video, once this video is live and up on YouTube, it's not like anybody's going to know. I don't have the type of family that supports each other. So don't think any of my family is going to see this. But it is what it is. You know, it is hard. And I don't tell anybody. So when I do feel like I have somebody that at least shows interest in what's going on, then I'll feel a little bit closer to tell you what's going on. This is really, really hard. Really, really hard to talk about. Stuff that I never even said. And really, honestly, what I feel like I'm about to say right now, I just feel like it's just really hard to just bring it up, because it's just certain things that I never even really established myself in my own head. Like, should I say that? Like, am I actually this type of person? And saying it out loud makes it real. And I'm afraid that if I say it and I just put it out online, it's out there, and I can't do anything about it. But there has been times in my life where I was actually considering committing suicide. And it's like a battle that's going on, because when you feel so close to committing suicide, like, I've had depression for a while, and I've heard people say, hey, are you suicidal? Do you think about killing yourself? And my answer would always be no. And I meant it. I never ever actually considered suicide. But as I got older, and kind of point in my life right now, I have. And it's like a battle, because it's like you feel hopeless. Because that's honestly really when you get to the point of feeling suicide, is when you feel like there's no more hope. There is just no way up. So that's where you feel like that is your only option. But I have a daughter, So I would never leave her. I would never want to. But honestly, it just feels like right now what's going on in my life, my daughter is my only reason for living. And sometimes it's like, is that enough? Is that enough? And you just feel like everything and everybody hates you. Like you are just worthless, that you're not worth anything. When I stopped filming videos for a while, I was going through a really bad depression then. That was honestly around the first time that I started thinking that. And when you have your first suicidal thought, even with depression in general, it does not go away. It's always suicide, maybe in the back of your head, because you're trying to not focus on it. You're trying to focus on making your life a little bit better. And then feeling like that is even harder going through a black family, because black people don't want to talk about it. They just don't. They don't. So then you just feel extra alone. Extra alone. But I would never leave my daughter, so I guess that's where the battle really feels, is that she's my only hope. But what if you're not doing right by anybody in the world, so you feel like maybe this is what you're supposed to do? It's just hard. It's hard. So hopefully anybody who's watching this, if you still went past the first warning when I said that it's going to be some triggers and it's going to be some hard topics I'm talking about, and you still went forward, I hope you're still there listening. And if you are still listening, comment. Comment. If you want to talk, let's talk. If you're going through it, if you have went through it, comment. I'll talk about it. It's easier to talk about it with people who have went through this. This is going to be such a hard video to post, but I already went through the hardest part. I found it, so I didn't cry like I thought I did. But I guess that's the end of this video. I didn't want to make it too long. But that's the end of this video. So if you want to get on to happier topics, go watch some of my previous videos, and I'll be sure to upload happier videos. There won't be a lot of videos like this, because I feel like it's such a downer. So make sure you guys just check out my other videos. Thank you guys for watching.